right. Yeah, we really should have some kind of theme music when we start this. Like, "Ba-do-do-do-do-do, welcome to JT's Dorks Dairy. Do-do-do-do-do." Something like that.
We need money for that. And people, editors and stuff for
No,
that.
we can just do it on the fly every time. Every time we start up, just do.
Different intro every time.
Yeah, or something. But welcome everyone to another installment of the Dorktionary podcast, presented by J&T.
Oh, I was going to ask you, do you want to trade off who does the intro and who does the outro?
Oh, I don't care. We're doing it all.
Because if I was going to do the intro every time, I was going to just make you come up with an outro.
I mean, I can come up with things on the spot, but I mean, whatever you guys want, or whatever you want to do, I mean, I'm down. We can switch it off. I mean, we're pretty much improvising everything right now, so we'll see what sticks. And maybe, I don't know, if we gain a huge audience, they just may like the randomness of the intros all the time. So,
all right, well, like you said, welcome to the Dorktionary podcast presented by J&T.
Like how he just cuts me off there.
Yeah, I'm Jay, that's T. Say hi, T.
Hi.
Okay. So, a few weeks ago, we did our pilot.
Yeah.
This is going to be episode 1. Okay?
Yeah.
So, I figured today we talk about something that all dorks have a little bit of knowledge on, which is superheroes.
Or base knowledge.
Yeah, base knowledge.
We're not going to go into super details, so everyone's be like, what? They do that?
You're at least aware of it.
Yeah, aware.
And so I thought maybe we'd talk about, one, what's our earliest memory of those superheroes? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And also, who's our favorite, or things that we find interesting about comics or superhero movies or things in general. Just dork out about superhero stuff. Like we do all day, every day.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, do you remember your first experience with superheroes?
Yes. Well, experience?
Like childhood memories?
I'm trying to think. And, I mean, if we're going off superheroes, I mean, I guess, yeah, I'll just say this. My main superhero is Batman. And he is my earliest childhood experience. Because growing up, saw Batman, Mask of the Phantasm, the movie based off the Batman animated series with Mark Hamill as a Joker, if you guys are aware.
Best Joker.
Best Joker. One of the best ones out there and best adaptations of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And this was when, obviously as a kid, didn't know as much as I know now. But everything about Batman back then was awesome, dark, mysterious, martial arts and everything. There's Adventures of Superman, I believe, is what the cartoon was called. But it didn't hit as hard with me as Batman did, because it was, Superman's all light, and Batman's all dark, so it's a good contrast. And I was like, oh, everything's all bright and sunny. He's fighting villains in the daytime, and Batman's always fighting villains in the nighttime. And just, I don't know, the night aspect, I was drawn to it.
Yeah.
I was molded, created.
Edgier.
Yeah.
It's more interesting.
So that's who it is. And we can go back into a little bit more detail later. But yeah, Jay, what about you?
Well, I love Batman as well.
Yeah.
My earliest memories were Justice League Unlimited. I don't remember if it was the movie that I remember seeing first, or just the first part of the TV show. That one. Let me.
I don't mean to interrupt, but
no, go ahead.
I do have a question about that, because when I first saw Justice League, was it like a 3-episode? It was like 3 episodes. And I thought it was a movie at first, and then it became a show.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was just a 3-episode long that they just ran continuously without things. But I was so confused. I still to this day don't know.
I don't remember, because I remember I had it on VHS growing up. So I think it was the first few episodes of the Justice League TV show.
Yeah.
But I think they also put it into a movie to make it easier to collect and watch and stuff.
Okay.
But I remember, because that's when you met Martian Man, and it was really scary for me because the first scene that you're in is these military men morph into these aliens, and you're as a kid, you're like, holy crap, that's terrifying. You know,
Martian
throw that at
Manhunter
me.
is
Yeah.
what he meant, not Martian. I
Martian-
mean,
well, who did I say?
you said Martian Man.
Oh, that's Invincible. That's wrong.
I was like Martian Man.
Martian Man. That's-
Martian Manhunter, John
Yeah.
Jones, everyone.
Yeah, John Jones. Sorry, that's Invincible. I've been watching Invincible a lot lately, but which is a whole different type of superhero movie,
Exactly.
which is amazing. But yeah, growing up, it's mainly Justice League stuff. I didn't even really know anything about Marvel until middle school, high school.
Same.
So-
I'm right there with you. But Batman
Batman.
was my earliest.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. As far as Batman goes, is there any other? Well, that was our childhood memories as far as what kind of got into it.
Yeah.
As we've gotten older and learned more about the superhero
Batman's
culture
still
and
great.
everything, he is great.
still
But
great.
do you have someone that you like better or more? You know my answer. My answer is Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, I know almost all the superheroes
You're
now.
a Batman stan,
and I'm
which
a
is great.
Batman stan. But there are close seconds, or I mean, right up there with Batman. But
Well, for me, I love Batman.
yeah.
Flash wins it out. If we're just strictly talking about DC, Flash for me,
Well,
because especially since Batman's always said, you know, like you're the type of person I wish I would have grew up to be if my parents were still alive.
so
That says a lot, especially since Barry is constantly.
yeah.
He's almost the Peter Parker of the DC universe. He's constantly sacrificing things left and right.
And we're talking about
always.
Barry Allen Flash.
Yeah, Barry
too.
Allen Flash.
So,
Wally West is probably my favorite though, just as a character.
yes.
But
Well, just to kind of chime in there,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, everyone, as I said earlier, Batman. I'm a Batman stan, and close second is actually the Flash too. We've had this conversation off topic multiple times.
Yeah.
I love the Flash. I love everything about him. If Batman didn't exist, Flash would be number one for me.
Right.
But Batman does exist, so Batman's number one.
one like I guess we're just gonna strictly talk DC for a moment.
Yeah.
But one of the characters, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, or John Stewart, I love them as characters because they're needed and they're very interesting, and the power itself is amazing. Like
Yeah.
to be able to think of it, and it's your willpower, and that's amazing. But for me, I don't connect with that because I'm not creative. So it would be very hard for me to come up with, everything I would do would basically just be a hand. It would just be a big hand.
A big hand. Slapping people,
that would be
grabbing
it.
people,
Punching,
throwing.
pulling, like it would just be a hand. And there would be no need for me to have the ring other than just be like, yeah, you can't bend my will, but look at my giant hand. It'd be useless.
It's like a Mickey Mouse glove hand
Yeah.
or master hand from
Yeah,
Smash
it'd be like
Brothers.
Stovers, the stove time helpers would look like.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
A hand with a smile on his face, beating the crap out of you. So, no.
I will say real quick, DC has one of my favorite supervillains, which is I always forget his name. Vandal Savage.
Yeah, Vandal
is my
Savage.
favorite because they do immortality correctly with him. A lot of people, when they think of immortality, think of it like Dracula or some god alien being. It's like,
Yeah.
no, this is a dude. He suffered a lot.
Yep.
He's amassed some riches. He's very intelligent. He's not having a great time.
Yeah.
He sees the inevitability of all things, and he's just waiting for it to come and then live it out for eternity. That's not fun.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, DC did do good when they wrote Vandal Savage,
Yeah.
and he is underrated a lot. I think people don't give him as much props as they do, because as I read about him or learned about him, I mean, wasn't he one of the main people that did the League of Villains?
Yeah.
Yeah, or the guy that started it.
Yeah.
I mean, but he can work in the shadows. I mean, he can let you know that he's working on it, but you can't do nothing about it because he's immortal. But
Well, one of the things that I really also love is that he found out early on that when you want to rule the world, it's best to do it as the second guy, not
Yeah.
the main guy. You know, you don't want to be the Abraham Lincoln or the George
you
Washington.
would be the guy in the shadows.
You want to be the secretary. No one paints pictures of the secretary. No one remembers
Yeah.
the secretary, but you can control a lot of stuff from
Yeah,
the chairman's seat.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, the way that they wrote his character is very good.
Yeah.
I will agree 100% on that.
I never really understood Lex Luthor's hate for Superman. I mean, I know what it is.
Yeah. I was like, they explain it quite a few times in the
I
comics,
know,
but
I feel like it doesn't come from a personal thing. It's just more of a you scare me and I'm envious, and I
Yeah.
get it, but I feel like there could be more of like kind of like J. Jonah Jameson hates Peter Parker,
Yeah.
and you find out later it's a personal reason.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
understand that. I would totally back that. But for
No.
Lex Luthor, it's like, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
but
like
the
wanting
many
to prove a
attempts that
point.
he
I don't
does
know.
to get Superman's powers, and when he finally succeeds, and the stuff that he does with it,
Uh-huh.
kind of like goes back and forth with why he was afraid of him in the first place, because
Yeah.
he's misusing his powers anyway.
Right, and that's what I'm
Or stuff
saying.
like
And
that.
then-
So it's just
Because what is maybe I'm misremembering this, but I think in one comic where Superman doesn't exist, Lex is like an incredible guy. He even like marries Lois Lane. And
Yeah.
I don't remember if he ends up being evil at the end of it, but he's not. He's doing some really great things in the world, kind of like Doctor Doom.
yeah.
And I'm like, I don't get that. Where's the motivation for this evil blind
Well,
side in this?
Now I'm questioning: was Doctor Doom created before Lex, or was Lex created way before? Because back in the day, Marvel and DC always were going up and against each other with characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you got this character, well, I got this character, like Aquaman, Namor, blah blah blah, or vice versa. I think Namor came before Aquaman. But either way, they had one version of a person, and then Marvel had one,
Right.
or Marvel had one, and DC had one.
Right, and they had a lot of fights over it. I took I'm a history major, so I took a class as an elective that was a history of comic books. So
Nice.
I have actual credentials in studying comic books, and my professor loved them, and we loved messing with him. But I think Superman was before Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
So,
Superman was one of the first.
So I think Doom would have had to come later. But I don't know if he was a direct
But I don't know if
result of
Lex Luthor was a main villain at that time.
I'm trying to think who was Superman's earliest villains.
Because I don't know if Brainiac was before even Lex Luthor,
No,
I think.
I don't-
Or was he after?
I think he was after.
Because I know back in the, Action Comics, whatever they were called back then, it was mainly just, run-of-the-mill people shooting bullets, cops
Yeah.
and robbers type
Yeah,
people.
even Batman had a
do
gun.
that, yeah.
Batman was killing people all over the place.
Don't even.
He was just a
Those
psychopath.
were dark times. Dark
Yeah, it
times.
was.
Dark times.
They've revamped it, which is
Yes, which revamped it for the better.
Yeah, sure.
Batman was old school Thomas Wayne.
great. Speaking of which, real quick, I have to say this because if my professor's listening to this, I have to make fun of him for it. His name was Tash, Dr. Tash. And
Wow, he sounds like a superhero.
And he
Alias.
had this mug, and he would bring it to class every single day. Now I'm going to describe it to you, and you tell me what comic book character this is.
Okay.
It was a black mug, okay, like one of those tall, white girl coffee mugs or whatever. It was black, and it had a yellow lightning bolt in it. Okay, what character is that?
A yellow lightning bolt?
Yes, DC.
Oh, I would think of Black Adam.
Yeah, Black Adam, right?
Yeah.
And I'd say, nice Black Adam mug. He said, it's Flash. I went, it's black. He goes, it's the Flash. I was like, it's black. It's not. It's not it.
So is it Reverse Flash in his earliest days, or
No. He's like, it's the Flash. It's just a black. I was like, no, it's not. It's Black Adam. It's not the Flash because it's not. It wasn't even the same shape. It was just.
It was a shame to
It's like it's not the same lightning bolt. I was like, I don't know who ripped you off, but that's wrong.
Now that we're talking about, it, I'm like googling it on the side.
It's Black Adam's. It's like a big blocked square lightning bolt.
Yeah.
And
Is that what it looked like?
it's what I remember it looking like. I was like, I'm 100% sure that's Black Adam. So I would make fun of him all the time for it. But T's Googling right now because he needs to.
Yes,
make sure
I
he's
need
right.
to know. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
See, Google is horrible because I started typing Black Lightning, Bolt, and Flash.
Right.
And Google,
Is it a camera?
well, no. Okay, I'm just going to stop here.
Okay.
Because. Okay, I'll just say it. It's going to be funny because Google
AI
goes off
generated?
your AI generated
Yeah.
stuff, and it was putting up. It didn't do, or I accidentally misspelled Flash and put Flesh.
Oh.
And then
yeah.
it was going into something else.
I don't know. I want to see that. It's like black people who've been struck by lightning. I wonder what that looks like. Have you seen those of like people's skin when they get hit by lightning?
Nope.
It lights up your veins and the skin cells.
So you look like a superhero
yeah.
for a second?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Black Flash Lightning license plate. Was it like that?
Nope. There was
Okay.
no red in it.
No red.
No, it was a black
or
mug.
that.
Nope. It looked like
Oh crap. Sorry, we're looking at it right now.
It looked like one of these, but not
That
exactly
is
these.
not.
I know. I was like, that is not the Flash, dude.
That is not. Is that like Jay Garrick Flash
I
or
don't
something?
know. So I would make fun of him for it all the time. But anyway, back to what we were saying.
Yeah. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We were just talking superheroes.
We were just talking superheroes.
But I don't read a lot of comics or manga or anything. I mainly just watch the media and stuff, the entertainment.
Yeah, I'm the manga reader, but that's anime.
But I do catch stuff from people posting things, so I'll read some every now and
everybody
again.
posts everything nowadays about anime and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, superhero characters. Yeah, and there's some spoilers like that. Right now, I'm into the Infinite Crisis movies, the DC animation ones. I wait until they're out on Max to watch them.
Oh, that's where they are. I've been looking for them, and I was like,
yeah, only part 1 is out right now, but part 2 and 3 they're not. But I'm waiting to see.
Which is it Infinity or is it Injustice?
Or Infinite Crisis? Sorry, Infinite Crisis.
It's not Injustice.
No.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Well, I've been seeing clips from an Injustice series.
There's an Injustice movie that's on Max.
Okay. I couldn't find it. I didn't know where it was. I just see clips of it everywhere.
Well,
like,
there's
see this.
A lot of people don't like it.
Oh, really?
Because if you know the Injustice storyline,
it takes
they cut a lot of corners, and it's just I don't know, it's just everywhere. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
I like the Injustice storyline. There's a few things.
The storyline I like. The animated movie was trash, garbage.
Okay.
So.
Well, the storyline itself, there are some things that I really like. Then some things I'm just like, I don't agree with that. Like, that's Flashpoint that I'm thinking of.
Flashpoint is one of the greatest.
It is.
Comic.
It is.
Comics. I'm just gonna say comics. Ever. If you don't know anything about the Flashpoint paradox, like
well, the Flash is just the best.
The Flash is awesome, but like the alternate reality or the whatever that is, different dimension, alternate reality, whatever you want to call it, parallel universe.
It's a paradox.
Paradox, all that stuff. It's basically a bunch of what if, what if type stuff.
What if the Flash changed one thing?
It's crazy and it's amazing and it's awesome.
Again, goes back to what I was saying. The Flash is constantly giving up sacrifices. All he did was just try to save his mom, and then it's like
that's all he tried to do.
No, you doing that destroys the entire world.
Exactly. Your mom's got to die to be the world that you're used to.
What if I change this? No. Now Lex Luthor is the president of the U.S. and now there's a huge fight. It's like, dang it.
I feel like the reason why we have so many different Earths, like Earth Prime, Earth 412, all those other Earths, is because of Flash. But they say that existed before that, obviously. But I like to think that Flash is the reason why we have all that.
That is my headcanon now. There is a World Prime Flash who's just sitting on an empty planet all by himself, just because he's like suffering with the idea that he caused all these multiverses to appear because he did
horrible.
One thing one time.
I would feel so. No, Flash would kill himself if that happened. He would kill himself. He wouldn't.
I don't think so. I think Barry would sit and suffer for as long as possible.
I don't think he would.
I think he would.
He caused all these. No, because then all you would have to do is just go and see. Okay, there's some bad versions out there, but there's also some really good ones too. And
here's the thing: is that I know that universes and possibilities are infinite, so there's always any amount, but I feel like every time we look at one, it's always a bad version of something. It's always bad. Yeah. There's never another good one.
Well, they don't show good ones for us because people react more to bad than good. True. Like, there's probably just as many good ones, but no one wants to know that.
Aquaman? Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. That happened.
And then she killed his wife? What? And now they're going to war? Yeah. And they don't even care if the world gets destroyed? They just want to kill each other now? Like,
yeah. I will say though that I never really understood the reverse Flash part in the Flashpoint paradox, because he did get killed by. Oh no, I'm thinking of after that in the Suicide Squad, where Thawne comes back, but he's still the Thawne from Flashpoint. You know what I'm talking about?
Like before he goes to.
No, he has the wound from.
Oh, the bullet head.
Bat.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I don't understand how he survived that. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but
yeah. No, I understand. I remember what you're talking about. I don't know either.
How? He should be gone.
Yeah. but I mean,
So,
with him, it's been weird because he's from the future.
yeah, I
To begin
do. I
with,
do like
and
his. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do like his idea that he's the villain and he has to be the villain because he has to make sure that the good guys are still doing good.
yeah, if there's no villain, Flash
Is
doesn't
pointless.
exist.
Yeah.
He
So
doesn't.
he's like,
So
I'm just filling my
do-
purpose.
Yeah, he's doing his role, even though he does some fucked up stuff.
Yeah.
He does, but he's just fulfilling his role, like he said. So, but other than that, I don't know. He is a he's a weird character for me. Like I like Thrawn. Yeah.
Thrawn.
It's just I don't know. And this may be going just from how the animated movies portrayed him too, because I have seen him in comics and he seems so much better in the comics. But majority of the time when I'm watching him now, he's like almost in every DC animated movie now. Like he's like a main part of it.
Well, he's so recognizable, and you get his MO immediately. He's here to mess with Barry. He's just here to mess with Barry.
And then I'm just like, man, just give him a break, dude. Get off his nuts.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
He's great.
I enjoyed the way they did it in the Flash the TV show because I've always said Marvel does movies better and DC does the shows better, just in my opinion. But
DC does shows better?
Yeah, does the animated shows better. Does the animation better.
I was like, the DC on anime side is better.
Yeah.
But the live action adaptation, Marvel has it.
Yeah.
So.
There are a lot of things that I liked about the Flash the CW, but there was a lot of things that I was like, there was no need for that. That's just a time killer, and you're just eating up airspace. You don't need to do that. So
half the time we're disagreeing with this because we are Flash stands as well too.
Yeah,
so we're kind of critical as far as what they do. It's like, what the fuck? No, you can't.
And there are certain limits that you can do for fictional stories and stuff. Like I get that, I understand. But the main thing that I don't like freaking what's her name, Iris. I feel like she's more of a problem than she is a helpful.
The adaptation of Iris is just I don't even know where to begin.
Because I like Wally in there. Wally's a pretty accurate depiction of what's going on. But Iris, I always say this, is anytime Barry's like, Iris, don't go into that building with the bad guy who's probably trying to kill everyone in that building. She's like, okay, I'm going to go in there. Like, why? He just told you not to do that.
Makes you want to slap
And it's not just that show. A lot of TV shows nowadays, like they don't have a damsel in distress. They have a female character trying to.
Because nowadays you don't have damsels in distress.
Which is fine, but you don't have to make her be stupid. Like she can be intelligent and helpful. Frost, the Kate. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Like that's fine. But having, added drama is just for TV shows. I get it, but
it's dumb. Yeah.
So
speaking about Flash, we were on Barry Allen. What is your knowledge on Wally West? What do you?
Which Wally West? the OG Wally West or the 52 Wally West?
Oh God! Now we're going into.
Well, okay, hold on. OG Wally West, 52 Wally West, or the Black Wally West?
No, we're not doing the Black.
Okay,
we're just gonna leave them out. Yeah.
All right.
Let's do 52 Wally West
52 Wally West?
that's my favorite. Wally West.
So I don't read the comics, so I only get bits and pieces from things that I see every now and again.
Well, no. Start off with OG, and then we'll go into 52.
Okay, the OG. In my head canon, he's slower than Barry. He's learning. That's Kid Flash.
Kid Flash.
And growing up and taking over the mantle. And I love that as he's basically the Dick Grayson. Like the I'm not as good as Batman, but I'm what Batman could be like when he gets older. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I'm not as dark as Batman. I'm not as strong or as capable as Batman, but I'm
still able to do stuff. I'm just not at that.
I should be what this symbol should be.
Yeah.
Instead of being, what it is.
Yeah.
Which I like. But in my head canon, OG Wally West is Young Justice Wally West.
Yeah.
That is my preferred Wally West. I love it so much. And I keep waiting every year for them to make a new season for him to come back and be like,
Hey
Blue
guys.
Lightning and just OP as hell, and I'm so excited. But I don't think it's ever going to happen.
No.
At least not for that. But New 52, I love him.
Yeah.
And I love that he's only as fast as he limits himself to be.
Yep.
It's just amazing.
And that's why he's my favorite.
Yeah.
Wally West, the 52.
Yeah.
The fastest Flash, period.
Yep.
You know, see, Barry Allen is such a well-written character, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what could you do more to make someone better? You create 52 Wally West, in my opinion. Barry Allen, what was it stated? He knows the Speed Force. He knows how to tap into it and do what he needs to do. But Wally, like, feels it, like it's a part of him. It is him. And that's, you know, obviously, if you guys don't know, major spoiler, Wally is the fastest. It's confirmed in comics. Wally West is the fastest Flash, and just the abilities that he can do with the Speed Force like trumps Barry's quite a bit by some of the feats that he can do when he's one with the Speed Force. There is real big drawbacks though with some of the stuff that he does, because he's so in tune with the Speed Force, but it's just he's matured in the 52 version too, because earlier he was, you know, not as I guess mature.
Well, you know what I just thought of? A good analogy in my head, you tell me if you disagree, is that Barry Allen is like a blue lightsaber Jedi, and Wally West is a green lightsaber Jedi. So like the greens are like more peaceful and in tune with the Force. They're stronger, but they don't use it for combat or dominance. And blue is more of protecting what they already have and using the Force for more.
I can use that analogy.
It's not abusing it; it's just using it more for you know, different purposes.
But yeah, that was just a little side thing there. I just wanted to know what his thoughts were on Wally West, because
you know, said we're not really talking about Aquaman.
I mean, to be honest, I did see the OG Super Friends, like way back in the day, where they had the Hall of Justice, the Batman, Superman, the Wonder Twins, I believe, and the dog. Twins. Or whatever, monkey. It was a monkey with the purple hair. Wonder Twin powers activate, form a seal, shape of water.
I never got that.
Yeah, I never got it either.
Okay.
One was like always a water-based thing, like a bucket of water, ice, or something like that, and the other one was a whole animal transformer or something like that. Then there's a monkey. I forgot what he did, but then Aquaman. That was my first ever thing of Aquaman, was him riding that seahorse and communicating with animals. And then as we got older, you know, comics also agreed Aquaman's pretty dumb. Let's revamp him.
I don't think he's dumb. I think he's just...
Well, no, as far as like how they portrayed him, like they didn't do a good job, because Aquaman is actually pretty...
He's pretty OP.
He's pretty OP.
I think the movie did a good job of like saying how he can like hold his own there. It's just he's not in his element. If he was in his element, which is 70% of the planet. He's like broken.
He's like a god. He's like Superman.
Which is one reason I love Flashpoint so much. Is like you know, he's taken over. Because he can. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to stop the ocean? How do you stop the ocean? You can't stop the ocean.
That's true.
So
if he does, like that, the stuff that he can do is like the writers or creators rewritten him well to show everyone, because everyone, you know, in the olden days, I say olden days, was like, oh, he just talks to fish.
He just talks to fish.
That's it.
Someone's a shark.
I mean, he has a little bit of strength, but that's it. But now he's super strong.
Well, it says a lot about your character
martial arts.
When you have a human dressed in a bat costume who people love more than a dude who can control fish. It's just
it's the way that they portrayed him. Like Batman, the reason why I'm a Batman stan, it's because when you compare him to all other superheroes, almost every other superhero has some kind of power. Some kind of power. And then, you know, Batman does have money, but that's not all. He's went around the world to learn and put his body through things from everything so he can stay on par with these threats that could potentially destroy
learns how
the
to get
planet.
a full night's sleep in like
Yeah,
20 minutes.
and like I said, yeah, like just all that little shit. You know how much time and effort it takes to get yourself to that level. Like it's like for us, it's like almost impossible. I don't know. Some monk can do it.
He can make the world's hottest chili in
Yeah.
the universe, which is just an added fu to everybody.
But that's the thing. Like Batman doesn't need, and if he does get, which he has before in the comics, they've given him superpowers.
He
like
goes
how
overboard.
broken he would be.
Yeah.
Like with the stuff that he does to stay on par.
Yeah.
Batman taking out the whole Justice League. I mean, I'm just speaking normal canon from what everybody's probably heard or seen. Like,
we're not going in depth right now.
Batman can, like, in general, everyone knows Batman has a contingency for every superhero.
Yeah.
But like if you actually read the comics and know the actual stuff that he could do to like destroy them or it's crazy. And that's why
I love going on YouTube and re-listening to there is a video of Batman just doing vocals, and it's the Batman voice, and he's just reading out Batman's contingency for all the superheroes.
Yeah.
And one of them is also for himself.
Yep.
And I love it. I'm just like, oh, that's
that's
so
what
amazing.
makes me like him, because he also takes himself into account. Like he knows that the way that Batman is the main person, Bruce Wayne is the persona. Like Batman is Batman. There is no Bruce Wayne. He's the person in the mask right now.
Which is really cool, because like when they in the New 52, when they meet Diana for the first time, Superman grabs his lasso and goes, Clark Kent, Superman. Batman goes, Batman. I'm Batman. So he's like, and Superman's like, really? It's like, what?
It's the truth. I mean, Batman is Batman. And I don't know if that's that a huge trauma as a kid and Gotham and all that's made it that way.
I think it's more of a self-sacrificing thing, because he even has a subconscious hypnosis on himself.
Oh yeah.
So like, he has a different persona in case he gets mind controlled.
Yep.
Which is basically just like, I have no identity anymore. I'm this thing, and all other things don't matter.
I feel like that he realized that as he's realized, like when he was fighting crime in Gotham, I think he had a hold on, okay, I'm Batman and I can be Bruce Wayne and stuff. But then when you start adding like, oh man, there's a guy can runs around a cave, can lift up buildings, shoot lasers out of his eyes, just has ice breath. Now, oh, there's a speedster that's around, can think at the speed of light.
A picosecond.
Yeah, picosecond.
For those of you who don't know, a picosecond, it's less than a picosecond, because a picosecond is how long it takes light to travel across an atom. Yeah. Okay? So light from one end to an atom to the other. He thinks faster than that.
Yeah. Well, there's a comic that I saw the other day of Barry Allen. He's like, he was getting chased by a bunch of just a random bad guy. And he was running like normal, but then he was also like, well, I can think at the speed of light, so let me think of all these scenarios. And then he got lost in thought. And so the bad guy shot him in the head and killed him because he got lost in his train of thought. So it's crazy. But yeah, Batman is just, I don't know. Okay. I can talk about Batman forever. Yeah, I could do it for like 8 episodes.
I think that's enough about DC. So. Do you want to switch over to Marvel or
let's do Marvel right now. Okay. What's your earliest memory?
My earliest memory, in all honesty, was the Incredible Hulk, because I was
the Lou Ferrigno the animated?
No, the one
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton.
The movie?
Because when I was growing up, they had the comic books out with the movie with the stickers. So I remember playing with those and watching the movie, and I loved it. I was in love with it. But then I remember seeing an animated movie of the Hulk and Wolverine. Yeah. And then I got into Wolverine, and then we played Xbox with my brother, and he got the Wolverine Origins game. Yeah. And oh my gosh, it was so hard, but it was so great to watch him come out of that tub. And then it was Wolverine, and then after that, I was in high school when the first, Iron Man, Captain America, all that stuff got really popular.
What about Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man?
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, I remember that.
Yeah, I was like, those were before that.
Those were great. Those were really great.
And then what about the Wolverine or X-Men movies?
The X-Men movies, I was just I didn't fully get a grasp of it. Yeah. Same with Tobey. I was like, this is cool, but I'm not I didn't know a lot about Spider-Man.
Okay.
It wasn't until really high school or college that I was like, Spider-Man's dope. Spider-Man is
Spider-Man's
amazing.
another broken character. If you guys
Busted.
don't know,
And just amazing. One of
Yeah.
my top favorites, just as a character. Again, kind of like Barry Allen. He's just the punching bag of the universe, and he just keeps getting up. He just has to.
Yep.
Which
But don't get it twisted. If he needs to
mess you up.
mess you up, he could.
Well, that's the whole Into the Spider-Verse thing that's one of my favorite Spider-Man stuff of all time. Not just because of Miles Morales, but because of how they portray Spider-Man
Yeah.
and his ideology and like what he has to do.
Wait, which one? Which Spider-Man?
All of them. Like every single time
okay.
they're like, we have to get back up. Like we can't make the decision not to push that button.
Yeah.
Like we have to keep going.
Yeah.
Like, there's none of this, you have to take the jump. Have to. It's non-negotiable.
You're gonna get me started all on Spider-Verse
So
stuff.
we'll pause on that. But my favorite Marvel superhero is Captain America. Like I'm a basic white boy, but I love
Boy
it.
Scout.
Yeah, I'm a Boy Scout.
I can't.
For sure, 100%.
I can't. Like to be honest, I'm such a hardcore Batman fan that I haven't even really thought about what's my favorite Marvel character.
Really?
I have a couple that's up there. One of them is severely underrated. Like people know about that he's OP, but they don't talk about him a lot.
Who?
Iceman.
Oh, really?
Iceman is right up there with I don't know. I'm an Element geek
Guy.
or
Yeah.
an Element guy,
Yeah.
but the things that Iceman can do, it's ridiculous. And he does. I don't think he gets enough shine. Like I don't know. It's crazy, but that's just that. But let me counter you because you said your earliest memory of Marvel. Mine was when you were talking about Hulk, and I was going to think, wait, Lou Ferrigno? It was like, no, you're too young for that.
I did see clips of those.
I see clips of that. I was young for that too. I didn't even see that. I didn't watch that either. I know of it, but I never watched it. And then, what did I also say? I said the Edward Norton, which is the one that you said, but didn't I say another or animated?
I said Tobey
animated.
Maguire and the animated stuff.
My first introduction into X-Men was actually through a video game.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you remember back in the day, they used to have those like video games cartridge, like kind of like
Game
a Game
Boy?
Boy. No, it wasn't a Game Boy. It was like a standalone thing where you can just like, oh, there's an X-Men video game. It was you grab it. It was like just little 2D. Well, I wouldn't even say 2D. It's like the little line things that come up on the screen of the character. I don't know what it's called, but there's like an X-Men one. And
yeah, you'd have to show me a picture.
I can't even remember what they're called. It is so. It's
been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. But either way, Wolverine was my very first experience into Marvel.
He's amazing.
And from there, that video game, it got me into X-Men, the animated show, old school 1996, 97, or 97, because they just redid it on Disney Plus, which I actually watched all of, and it was actually great. I know what our friend Kyler was talking about when he was.
I haven't watched it yet.
I watched it all. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah, that introduced me to X-Men. I was more on X-Men. That was like I know X-Men's part of Marvel, but you know they usually have like Marvel and X-Men separately, which is weird.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because it's not like DC. DC you have Justice League.
Yeah.
Or you have Batman, or you have Superman, or you have like
the Trinity.
With Marvel, it's like these guys can't. You can have a superhero do a mission by themselves, but they're in the same city as a lot of these other characters, so it's kind of hard to be like.
It's the thing that with the Marvel that's kind of weird is like the dissection between people with superpowers and then like mutants that
Mhm.
get superpowers,
Yeah.
but they're considered mutants
Yeah.
instead of super.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird to me. But I got more on X-Men side, and then that's when I mentioned the Tobey
Right.
Maguire Spider-Man and all the movies and stuff came
Right.
out, and that's how I got into everything else.
Right. Which is I kind of like that they have them separate. It almost shows a divide in the world itself.
Yeah.
Is it like you have the Avengers and then you have these mutant guys.
Well, that's what X-Men '97.
Yeah.
If you watch it, it kind of talks about that a lot too.
Yeah, because
So-
the Avengers are like they're not mutants per se.
Yeah,
they're
but
more
some
like
are gods and
gain
some
their
are.
powers. And mutants
Yeah.
are like, oh, this is the direction of humanity that terrifies us. Stay away, you freak.
Yeah.
Which is just
But if you think about it, I mean, what's the difference between someone that just that has altered DNA to give them these powers and someone that's a superpower? Like if you put both of them in the street without knowing what they are, you're probably going to think they're a superhero or something like
it's
that.
It's just a racist thing.
Yeah,
that's all it
that's
is.
what,
It's just
that's
a
what I
racist
think
thing.
it is.
It's just a the like that time period of people are gay, people have HIV, people are black, people are Hispanic,
Yep.
and it's like, oh well, you don't look like me, so
Yeah. And that's
get away.
pretty much with X-Men '97
exactly
at the
what it
very beginning.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
it goes
exactly what it
into. So you need to watch it. If you haven't watched it, if you have Disney Plus, I
Which
suggest you watch
to
it.
be honest, in reality, if people started showing up with porcupine skin, you'd be like, you got something.
Yeah,
And
I
don't know
would
what
say,
it is.
I'm not going to lie, I would say stay the fuck away. Or
Yeah,
I would
okay.
walk away. I would probably, if I saw like a random person walk across me in porcupine skin, one, since I'm a geek, I would be like, that's a fucking mutant.
Yeah, you'd be like,
that's a mutant.
Yeah.
And
Well-
then two, I'd be like, do you know that you have...
Yeah, it's like, hey, what's your bloodline?
Yeah.
But also, two things. One, at the same time, if I saw someone with angel wings, I'd be like, you lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Like, oh,
I would
man.
be instantly jealous.
Like, dude, can I have some?
I would probably would keep that thought to myself. But
I would. I'd be like, oh, you're so lucky. Well, there's hardships with it.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I don't know if X-Men comics do this as much. I feel like there should be more people trying to manipulate their blood, like to give to more people. Like, imagine if you could go to the store and be like, well, this one's for wings, this one's for instant teleportation, this one's laser eyes for 5
God.
minutes. You know what I mean?
the market for that.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the market? Like, not for buying the body parts. Give
Yeah.
me the ability. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's a safe thing to do.
Well, I know, but let's say I'm A positive. Let's say
Yeah.
Angel is also A positive. Can he give me some blood?
Why does he have wings and I don't?
Yeah, if I get some of his blood,
Because of A
can
plus
I-
or A positive blood mutated.
Yeah.
And yours can't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and if his is mutated, it means it's probably stronger or different genetically. I mean, you should be able to help me out a little bit,
Yeah, but if you give a pure A positive person some mutated blood, you just shorten your lifespan by 20 years.
I can
You're
fly.
dead.
I don't care. I can fly. I don't need to
You're
walk
gonna fly
or
for
wait in
10
line.
seconds and be dead.
Nah.
Yay, I'm flying.
But that's what I'm saying. Like most of the comics are about using mutants as weapons, which makes sense. People would do that. I'm more like, why don't you figure out how to just give the thing to everybody and just bypass this whole racist bullcrap?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I feel like that just leads to more problems.
I mean, maybe.
It's like
saying-
sharing needles.
I'm saying from a comic book perspective, because there would be
Yeah.
people kidnapping them to try and sell
Yeah,
the abilities.
because if
rather
you're able to
than
do that,
slaves.
then there'd be a lot of bloodshed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, where is that in the comics? Where is it where it's like,
I don't
hey,
know.
do you want this ability? We can give it to
I'm
you.
not familiar with as strongly as I would like to be as far as I can, but they probably may have done a scenario
because
like that
it's
before.
mainly about suppressing the gene.
Yeah.
So if they can suppress it, they should be able to distribute it or recreate it.
Maybe
what I'm saying?
the suppression is so strong that it makes it come out strong.
But it's not permanent.
Yeah, that's true.
So, or at least they don't think it is.
It's weird because like some of the stuff that you're talking about is all. I'm sorry. I keep going back to
Okay.
X-Men '97
Yeah.
because
It's all in there.
everything that you're talking, like the gene suppression
Yeah.
and the racism
Yeah.
and all that. It's literally
Well,
X-Men 97.
I
And I don't know
think,
why I like it so much. Maybe it's because it tackles a bunch of issues at once while still giving the action-packed
which is something a lot of
thing.
shows don't do
Yeah.
anymore, which is I
Which
really
is
miss.
why I think everyone likes, because you've seen reviews and stuff.
I know a
right?
lot of people love
A
it,
lot of
but
people
I didn't
like
know
it,
if it was
but
just nostalgia or
it's
what.
part that, but then also some of the things. There's some parts I'm like, okay.
Because I remember, like, every now and again, I'll go back and watch a Disney show or something,
Yeah.
and like That's a Raven, and they're like talking about racism, and I'm like,
Huh?
I don't remember that, but that's
Hmm.
really nice to remember that I learned that really young.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, no, it's just, well, like I said, I like that they split up X-Men and Marvel, because then they also have Fantastic Four,
Yeah.
and they have different sects of things. So if you don't like one thing,
That's
like this other thing.
That's crazy because when you think about it, it's just like you said. They have okay. If you don't like X-Men, try Fantastic Four. If you don't
Yeah.
like Fantastic Four, try the Avengers.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I would even
goes
argue that Hulk is a whole brand by himself.
He is.
Like he goes,
He
and works
he
with
goes
them
in
and
every
jumps around,
room, but
but he's his own entity. He's his own corporation.
it's weird because when you think of Hulk, you do think of him with the Avengers, but you can also think of him by himself. But
Yeah.
if you do the same with like Thor or something,
Yeah.
you think of either him
Mhm.
or him and Loki, I
Uh-huh.
guess, or him with the Avengers, or him with Loki or something.
But
And
even Thor has
Yeah.
his own group on Asgard. Too.
Asgard, yeah.
So it's like,
everyone can be by himself, and Black Panther only with Wakanda,
Yeah.
and sometimes with the Avengers and everything. And then
Yeah.
when you bring them up, yeah, because you're right, they're completely their own
yeah,
different sects of
because
Marvel.
with Fantastic Four, he's usually like he's buddies with the Thing because he's like the only one who can kind of keep up with him.
Well,
Like as a like a buddy.
and then Reed Richards when in the Illuminati.
Oh yeah, yeah.
but-
And Illuminati's another
yeah.
thing, but and then Hulk is usually in conflict with the X-Men because
Yeah.
they're usually like, hey, you go chill him out.
Very, very few times
Yeah, yeah.
that they are on good terms.
And then Avengers are more like, hey, let that green, atom bomb
yeah,
over there. Kind of thing. It's like point him in that
destroy some
direction.
stuff.
Yeah.
Captain America speaking. Boy Scout.
But Hulk World, Planet
Planet Hulk.
Hulk, yeah, I love that. Did you see the animated?
Oh
movie
yeah,
of that?
I've
so good.
read it and seen it. I loved
Yeah,
it.
I loved it.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened to Banner during that whole. Or I mean, they explained it
Uh-huh.
at the beginning, but I was like, can he not come out at all? Like, make any type of
Well,
appearance? But
I know that it's based off of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde,
mhm.
but I've always had
They've had so much adaptations between them two.
Uh-huh.
It's like I don't even
But
know.
what I've always been curious about is Banner just not trying to take over the Hulk? Because that's the thing is Dr. Jekyll lets Mr. Hyde out. He's constantly just letting him out.
Yeah.
And Banner doesn't want the Hulk to come out, but I don't feel like he's trying to suppress him when he is out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
the Hulk's not like, constantly trying to get
Smash
Banner to
and
disappear.
all
Yeah.
this like that.
When Banner's out, Hulk's not constantly trying to get him to change. He just changes because Banner's emotions flip.
No.
But even Hulk can be calm and Banner not come out.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you doing?
I don't know. Like when they did the movies adaptations, like you said with Edward Norton,
Mhm.
when he's going to places trying to find out how to be calm and stuff like that,
Mhm.
is it's kind of ridiculous to me because I'm like, you can be calm and still be kind of angry and stuff
Yeah.
and not let the
Yeah, and it's like how
like,
angry? What's the
yeah.
threshold of angry do you have to
that
be?
you have to be to make the Hulk
Yeah.
come out.
Yeah.
When I first was with the Hulk, I was like, "What is like you stub your toe?
Yeah.
Oh, you're hulking out, breaking
Yeah.
the whole house or
Yeah,
something?"
and a lot
Like,
of people are like, well, he has anger management issues. I'm like, no, he doesn't.
yeah, he was perfectly fine when he was a scientist working.
Yeah, if he had anger management issues,
Yeah.
anytime he got a wrong result in a lab or something,
Yeah.
he would
He
flip a switch and
but
turn
he
green.
was really calm back then.
He doesn't have anger management
Yeah.
issues. He has a threshold for whatever it is that flips the switch.
And that's what Marvel writers need to work on. Is like, oh, what makes it thresh, or like what makes it
yeah, how
flip.
mad do
And
you
some
have
of
to
the
be?
times it's like, and then when they did the adaptation with the movie, the first Avengers movie, and when he goes in the scenes, he just walks in.
Yeah.
And he's like, You asked what my secret was. I'm always angry.
Yeah,
Then
I'm
he turns
always
into a
angry.
Hulk and punches him.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, I like that because I'm like, that's the best way to cope with. Like, if you're not trying to not be angry and you're just, recognizing I'm not happy, kind of mad, moving the threshold further and further along. So it's harder to turn, which makes sense. And
or you could control it that way then. Because it's like, okay, I'm angry, but I'm not angry enough to like Hulk out and destroy stuff.
Yeah, I can be mad, but not, want to destroy everything. I'm just mad.
His character's like the Hulk Banner thing. It's just...
it's complex. It's not just a,
Yeah, I don't know. It's too much for me to actually go into.
All right, well, let's go into one that I know we both love. We'll talk about Spider-Man.
I was just about to say, when are we going to talk about Spider-Man?
Speaking of Hulk, one of my favorite comic book moments is when Spider-Man tells a knock-knock joke and Hulk transforms back into Banner. Because he's like, that was so dumb. I can't believe that works. Because it was something Spider-Man was just doing to calm himself down. Yeah. Just as a nerves, and he's just saying a stupid joke, and he's like, "Oh, well, okay, that works."
Spider-Man is awesome.
Yeah, I love that. I love that Hulk likes Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I love that is a thing.
Yeah. So Spidey's his buddy, man.
He is.
Yeah, because he doesn't do anything really threatening, and if he does, he just tries to subdue him with webs. Nothing lethal where he punch or something, unless it actually needs to come down to it. So, but. Yeah, Spider-Man, like, I don't know where to begin. Obviously with Peter Parker, but...
back to the Avengers real quick, the movies. I did see a clip of something on Instagram that piqued my interest. It was every single one of the Avengers in the Avengers movie called a Hulk Banner, because they're trying to get Banner back.
Yeah.
And all the stuff, except for Cap. Cap calls him Hulk.
Yeah.
And that's why Hulk listens to Cap.
Because he recognizes he calls him what he actually is.
Yeah, you're not the other guy.
Yeah.
You're this guy right now. Mm-hmm. And I think Peter does the same thing. He's like...
I think I saw that exact video. Because they were talking about... They showed clips of all them talking and calling out Banner. And then it went to the scene Dr. in the Banner. First Avengers where he's like Hulk. Smash.
He's like, he smiled.
And he smiled.
But I think Peter does the same thing. He recognizes that Banner is the other guy. Mm-hmm. Right now I'm not talking to the other guy. I'm talking to the Hulk. Yeah. And the Hulk has different responses and different ways of thinking.
Two different people.
Yeah. So it's more of a split personality thing, I guess. But more than an anger management problem.
True.
But I just love Peter and his strength and just everything.
Yeah, his wits, knowledge, and just everything about him. Yeah. Like his powers are so unique, and I think it complements him very well. Mm-hmm. Like Peter was meant to be Spider-Man. Yeah. It's just he's an average dude trying to make his way through life, but just somehow is like a Spider-Man. Is Spider-Man, and it's got to battle with life, villains, everything.
Well, did you see the comics of when Spider-Man meets God?
Refresh it.
Dude.
Talk about it a little bit.
Oh my gosh. It's one of the most amazing things. So Spider-Man is like debating. So his aunt is in the hospital. Yeah. And he's got to make some decisions. And he's debating giving up being Spider-Man. Like just giving it up. And so he meets this guy in this alley, this rugged old, it looks like a homeless dude.
Yeah, it's always God.
And he looks like crap. Yeah. And he's like, dude, get away from me. I don't have time for this. And he offers him to buy him. So he basically just takes Peter out for the day and just talks to him. Mm-hmm. And it just like reaffirms to Peter, like, he takes him to this beach and just shows him, like, the beach is just full of people, like, as far as you can see. He's like, these are all the people you've saved. You don't remember any of them because you've saved way too many. Yeah. So you can't stop doing what you're doing. I'm not going to make you do anything, but the world is a better place because of Spider-Man. Yeah. And just reading that comic,
it makes him cry, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes him cry because he's like, dude, I'm constantly... Yeah. I've been broken. I've had family members murdered multiple times. I've been ousted by my friends. All of this other stuff.
He's just a regular guy.
He's like, I keep falling down. Like I keep getting pushed down. And he's like, I know, but you falling down is what's keeping these people up. Yeah. And which is just insane.
You guys catch that? We talked about this early in the beginning of the
Yeah.
podcast about how you can't fall down. We just got to keep getting up.
Gotta keep getting up.
Got to keep getting up.
Gotta keep getting up.
So, but yeah, you're right. Like I can imagine that too. I've read so many different comics about Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
More recently, I've read a bunch of stuff about what to do or like what Spider-Man does if you like
mess with him, make him angry.
Yeah, get him off edge, like
Yep.
all the hold back stuff and like that. And that kind of goes to show, like we say, Spider-Man is just a normal guy. He's got emotions. He's got feelings. Like if you do something messed up, you know, he could respond.
Yeah.
In a horrible way. And if he does, you know, Spider-Man does what he does, but he always does it holding back.
Yeah.
Is Spider-Man like kind of like Superman, sort of say?
Yeah.
Superman
Walking
holds
on
back.
eggshells.
Yeah, he walks on eggshells. But if Spider-Man really wanted to do some damage, stop crime, do whatever, he could do it easily. But he realizes, you know, everyone's their own person. And you know, even bad guys deserve a chance. He's so like. He reminds me of the Flash a little bit in a way too, because you know how Barry goes out of his way to make sure that you know even villains are doing all right and
treated correctly,
treated fairly and stuff.
Spider-Man doesn't do that like Barry does. Barry will go out of his way and
Barry
treats him like a person. He's like, you're going through tough times. Like I know this is not your first decision. Like you know,
Spider-Man tries to reconcile.
He does.
But not at the level of Barry. But that's what initially drew me.
Spider-Man's usually in the conflict though of knowing the villains in his personal life.
Yeah, which
before
sucks.
he meets them as Spider-Man, and Barry's the other way. He goes out of his way to meet them. You know, in person, which is just not fun. But I really love him, and he's constantly holding back. I like the Tom Holland version.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I really did. I liked all the versions.
I did too.
Because for me, when I go into a movie or something like that, I always try to take it for what it's giving me. Like this is their version. I'm just gonna accept it for what it is. Like I know what the comics say, but I want to see what they do with it because it's.
I like to kind of compare it because, like I said, growing up, my first iteration with Spider-Man was with the animated series, and whenever I first saw the Tobey Maguire one, I was like, "Oh, they're going for that look," and then it slowly like. I mean, to be honest, it did go that way, but it had its own movie flair to it, as say. And then the Andrew Garfield one came out, and I'm like, okay, so we have this version. And I was like, okay, it's kind of with the comics a little bit, and then we got Avengers: Infinity War or Civil War when we got
Civil War was amazing.
I love that's one of my favorite.
Catching the arm, beautiful arting, beautiful writing, beautiful. So.
Well, it kind of showed you how powerful Spider-Man is,
especially,
just joining those group of guys on the first encounter.
Since he's like doesn't recognize how like insane that is. He's just like, dude, that's awesome. And they're both like, is he for real? Did he just do that?
He's like without a whim.
we didn't even get to talk about Captain America and Mjolnir, but we're running out of time, so. We get into that. We'll do a part 2 of the superhero stuff, I'm sure. We'll talk about this a lot.
Yeah, we'll do part 2.
Is there anything you want to say before we go?
No, I just, other than I appreciate everyone that takes the time to listen to us. You know, I know we're not the best with scheduling and everything, but we try to do what we can.
Yeah.
Right now, we're doing this podcast at work.
In the break
we're
room.
in our break room at work. We're just doing it when we can.
But if you want to, you guys can tell us what your favorite superhero is or who you hate the most or why, or give us your opinion on stuff. We'd love to hear it.
We can probably talk about it in another podcast, or maybe part 2.
We will, for sure. There's a lot to talk about. But I think we're going to go. So, do you want to do 3, 2, 1, goodbye?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Goodbye.
Bye.